You manage that. Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday. Got your morning coffee. Hope you enjoy it with us. As always, please drop into the comments below. Say hi and where you're coming in from. We would love to hear from you. So today is our bonus call. This is all Q&A. So we had 33 people pre-submit questions. Some people had one question, some people had two, and some people had three. So we have about 70 questions probably to go through. The way that we're going to do this is we're going to read the first question that each person submitted, go through all of them, and then the second question, and rotate through so everyone can get their questions answered. And again, just as a reminder, this is also going to be recorded. The replays of this are available until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. That is also when the doors do close to expert authority. So if you haven't yet grabbed a time on our calendar, we do have a couple of spots left. A few have been taken already. But again, the big thing that we want to really share with you is that there is a number one reason why people aren't where they want to be in their business, and it revolves around one thing, and that's lead gen. That's it. Lead gen is the number one reason why people aren't where they want to be. They're not generating leads, which means they're not generating sales. And obviously, what we've touched on today or this whole week was this process of using LinkedIn for that. And within our program, just imagine how would it feel on top of the income that you're making now, having our system and structure of how to generate leads and sales across not just LinkedIn, all social media, but offline too, in an email list, having workshops, doing everything that we do. How would it feel to have all of that in place for you as well, where you can double, triple, quadruple your income from where you are right now? And I think people make the process of growing a business too difficult. We put our energy in 18 different places, but when we get focused and we're clear, that's when things start to happen. So drop a Y or a yes if you're someone that really feels like you're needing to improve where your business is. You're looking to grow, you're looking to scale, you're looking to double, triple, quadruple. Yeah. And again, how many of you would like to do that in the next 12 months instead of the next 3 or 4 years? Drop a number 1 in the chat, because that's what this comes down to. But doing nothing changes nothing. And I think the one thing that we've realized is that you have to sometimes think about, what would happen if I don't take the next step? How would my life change if I don't do anything different? If we continue to spin our tires, we never actually leave where we are. We're looking to move into a different aspect of our business. Every coach needs a coach, but I would say what really makes us different is we're not just coaches, we're strategists. We have a whole system in place for people to grow and scale their business in a very simple manner. And that's the thing. We don't want to make things confusing for people. We want them to enjoy what they're doing. And, for me, I think the biggest change was I was trading time for dollars. I was doing a lot of one-on-one coaching. I was doing well, but if you don't have a ladder of value, meaning if you don't have multiple entry points for people to generate leads and sales from, whether that's a membership, a group program, a signature program, you're going to be trading time for dollars for the rest of your life. And I think that was my biggest frustration, because if I wasn't picking up clients, I wasn't making money. And now we have around 5 different reoccurring revenue streams. Reoccurring. Every month, we can see exactly what is dropping in. And that's what we also teach people, is how they can create multiple reoccurring revenue streams. Drop a Y or a yes if you would like to have 2, 3, 4 reoccurring revenue streams in your business, because that's what it's all about, working smarter and not working harder. So again, don't wait for this opportunity to pass you by, because people have asked us, when are you doing this again? When are you opening the doors again? We don't know. It's basically when the demand is high enough. And the demand was high enough at the beginning of this year. We know a lot of people want to have a banner year in 2024, and we want to help you guys achieve that. Do you want to play the Teresa video?
Sure.
So you guys heard us talk about one of our friends, Teresa, who was able to 5x her revenue. And sometimes it's better to actually hear it from the person. And I'm just gonna get this up really quickly. And let me just share my screen.
What is your audio coming?
I'm gonna move it over here. So just hit play once.
Okay.
And then guys, just type a Y or yes if you can hear this.
Well, hey, everybody, it's Teresa Sanderson. Super excited to connect with you today. I'm here really just because I have to give a shout out to Scott and Nancy Aaron, who have helped me so much with my business in just the last, I think, 8 months or so. It's just been an incredible, amazingly fun ride to be a part of their Expert Authority training program that has helped me in the first 6 months of 2023 to more than double the income I earned in the entire year of 2022. So I want you to get your arms around that, get your brain around that, because this program is the real deal in my opinion. And it's helped me go from an online business that was very unstable. It didn't have a predictable income. And really not much traction, to being identified as truly the authority in my field in the digital space, and also creating all of the systems and practical strategies that allow my ideal clients to connect with me easily and very spontaneously. So going from a very unstable income, very unpredictable income, to income now that has surpassed $25,000, $35,000 in a month is very, very exciting. And so if you are looking for a training program, if you're looking for a coaching program that really will show you all of the systems and tools and things that you need to go through this process in just a step-by-step way and turn your business on. That's the thing. I already had a viable product. I had so many good things in place, but what I didn't have was the right systems, and I didn't know the step-by-step methods to turn it on. And that is what Expert Authority has given me. So Scott and Nancy Aaron, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you is just not a big enough set of words for what you have been able to help me achieve in such a short time. So for those of you who are watching, I'm also filming this in our RV. My business is totally remote, able to be managed from anywhere. So if you're looking to create your dream life, if you're looking to start your business in the online world, I can't recommend this highly enough. Thanks. Hope it's helpful. Bye.
So we just wanted to, obviously share that with you. And again, you can see just from that, we're not here to convince you. We're here to let you know that if you're sick and tired of not having the right systems in place, if you're sick and tired of not making the money that you deserve, if you're sick and tired of kind of feeling like you're flailing and you're just, patchwork quilting everything, and you're still not achieving the goals that you want, that's what we can help people do. So again, grab a spot on our calendar. We have a bunch of calls today and tomorrow. But again, once the last few spots are filled, they're filled. So it can never hurt to have a conversation. So click the link, apply to get a spot on our calendar. But more importantly, let's dig into some Q&A. So as I told you, we're going to kind of run through, we're going to pop these actually in the chat so people can see them for themselves, and we are just going to kind of go one by one.
Is the first one?
Yep. So this is from Ron, And
I'll read it.
okay.
My political book is at the publisher for editing. My monetization goals now are to create a website, collect email addresses from stimulating posts for the book launch. Much later, there could be a consulting spinoff. How can I modify my goals or use the great material you have presented in a way that focuses on those objectives? And he says, I appreciate how smoothly all the admin and content aspects of your LinkedIn training are handled. I will not be able to attend, but I will watch the replay. Ron.
Well, Ron, I know you have a call set up with us for today as well, and we can go into more depth about that. There's a lot of layers to that because as people build out the scope of their business, having a book, I interviewed actually one of the top LinkedIn voices, Dr. Travis Bradbury, who specializes in emotional intelligence. He has about 3 million followers. So he was on my podcast the other day. And I said, in your opinion, what really makes someone the expert in their space? And he said, a book. And, Nancy has a book. I have a book. A lot of our mastermind members now have written books. So there's a lot of deeper things that need to be done. It's not just changing your LinkedIn strategy. It is, to your point, setting up proper website optimization, having a lead capture form, making sure that there's a nurture and email sequence that is really building attention and awareness. Nancy, want to add anything?
Yeah, I was going to say, just keeping it like super simple, everything that you're mentioning, Ron, we are actually working with a couple of our members in our program to do. So for example, we have a gentleman who wrote a #1 best-selling book about 10 years ago. He's getting ready to re-release it, and he's actually built out a course behind it. So if anyone's heard of, the entrepreneurial operating system, it's kind of similar to that strategy where it's really all about tying in a course and a program to a book. But we teach all that in our program. Like Scott said, it's a little more in depth, right? So we'll kind of discuss that a little bit more in our
Yeah, and part of the strategy is what we do, and that's why every person that's in our program, you do have to get that specific strategy in place. So Faruzia asked, how do I handle people who don't respond to messages? Wait, write again, how soon? No. If someone doesn't respond, that's basically what happens. When you send a message, people either respond or they don't. That's why yesterday we went over the nurturing messages. So the happy birthdays, the work anniversaries, the change of a jobs, those are what we call nurturing messages. So if someone doesn't respond from the initial message and 3-4 months goes by and you just happen to notice that they have a birthday, you can wish them a happy birthday, and then they can engage back in that. And if they engage, then you can say, you're so welcome. I'm not sure if you saw my message from before, but, would love to connect and hear about, what you're working on and share what I'm working on. So if they don't respond, the only message follow-up there should be one of those nurturing messages. Maybe they engage in your content, so you send them a gratitude message. That's the best advice there.
Right. Joe Walsh.
Why ask only yes or no questions? Wouldn't open-ended questions get more interaction? So for me, simplification is key. There's nothing wrong with sending open-ended questions. For me, what has allowed us to grow and scale our lead and sales process on LinkedIn is being very succinct and very clear and making it very easy to get an answer from someone, whether it be yes or no. I'm not opposed to open-ended questions. It really just depends on the conversation. I just like yes or no because it just makes things very smooth and it makes the conversation flow that much better. So Mia says, what profile section is more important, endorsements or recommendation? Recommendations. So I've accumulated, like I mentioned to you guys, close to 520 written recommendations. And that's just because I've helped thousands of people with what we do. The endorsements are okay, but having the words of others speak to your expertise is everything. And that's the thing. We have people reaching out to us to work with us because of the recommendations that I have on my LinkedIn profile. So that should be a main focus.
Wendy.
Wendy says, LinkedIn profile, can I add a Google Business review to my testimonial area? Can you help me add one short review? I'm not LinkedIn tech savvy. So What you can do in the featured content section, you can add a LinkedIn post, you can add your LinkedIn newsletter, but you can also add a link. So if there's a specific URL to the Google Business Review, you can copy that URL and you can actually drop that in the featured content section, just like a testimonial video if you wanted to grab a YouTube link. So that's something that you can do as well. Kim says, I'm curious about the LinkedIn creator mode and what you recommend using it for. I mean, it's everything. If you're not using creator mode, you're not really using LinkedIn. It gives you access to create a LinkedIn newsletter. It gives you access to LinkedIn audio events, LinkedIn live events, LinkedIn live video, the follow feature, the LinkedIn bell, the clickable link in your profile. I mean, it becomes just a lead generator. And that's the other big thing, is that within our Expert Authority program, I do LinkedIn profile reviews for people where I help all the members actually optimize their LinkedIn profile from an SEO standpoint, but also make sure that they're set up to capture leads, capture emails, and actually create a lead and sales process just based off of your profile. Janine, shouldn't I be creating content for me,
For my business page.
for my business page to inform, educate, poll, etc.? I'm confused as to why I'm messaging and connecting on my personal page rather than my product or business page. So the company pages are good for, I would say, company visibility, but the most traction and the algorithm is in the favor of personal profiles, because each personal profile on LinkedIn is a business profile. People are on there for professional reasons. It's not like Facebook or Instagram. So you're going to get more reach, more visibility, more traction, creating your content and doing all of the daily activities through a personal profile on LinkedIn. And if you wanted to reshare your personal content to your company page, you can do that as well.
All right, Teresa.
Teresa said, what should I start with? Newsletter, podcast? Also, how often do I send out? Are these podcasts or they can be recorded? So we actually help people with both. We actually help people create and optimize their LinkedIn newsletter, and we have a structure around that, and help people create their podcasts. There's really no bad way to start. I think it's just a matter of what process you would like to streamline first and foremost. We actually have a streamlined process for creating your podcast, having it out on multiple channels, using LinkedIn as one of those. I love both. I mean, you know, we generate leads and sales from our podcast all the time, as well as our newsletter. But I would say that's two separate focuses. One focus is that's LinkedIn. The other is obviously another part of your business. But both are vital to growing and scaling a business.
Mark Kaplan.
Do you create slides for this presentation on PowerPoint or Canva? Canva. So we did do it through PowerPoint, but Canva is just much easier.
Okay.
Karen says, I could not find connection. I can't see.
Okay. Oh, where did it go? Right here.
I could not find connections accepted under Manage My Network on LinkedIn in order to withdraw invitations. Where is that located?
Not accepted.
Oh, yeah. So when you go into LinkedIn, can you bring up the screen again?
Sure.
When you go onto LinkedIn, you click on the My Network section, and on the top right, if you have inbound connection requests, it'll show you the people that are looking to connect with you, and it'll, like, say you have 10, it'll say see all 10. You click on that, and then it'll take you to a subscreen where it says manage invitations, received and sent. You click on sent, and then basically it'll show you all the sent requests that you sent out. If you don't have any inbound connection requests being sent to you, instead of saying see all, it'll just say manage invitations. And then you just click on that section, takes you the same screen, and you click on sent.
Oh, and just to tag off of Joe had Walsh's earlier question with the yes and no. So we actually are asking open-ended questions on the sales call, right? So that was the difference. It was the yes and no, right, is prior. And then during the sales call, we definitely want open-ended.
Yes.
Yeah, we want people sharing their story.
Yep.
All right, next question.
Van says, it's been challenging to find 14 to 18 appropriate people and connections on my network. Are there ways to improve? Yeah, so basically the My Network changes as the Monday and Friday acceptances change. So to give you an example, if you were looking to connect with coaches and podcasters and you're searching for those people on Mondays and Fridays and those people start accepting your connection request, the way that the LinkedIn algorithm works is LinkedIn picks up on that traction. And then when you go to the My Network area, you'll start to see new people start to appear based on the new accepted connections that you have. So in the beginning, it may be a little bit difficult, but it does change. Kathy says, with the checklist examples, there were 3 hashtags used. Were these random? No, they're not random. They're always correlated to your content. So I always use the same 3 hashtags, hashtag LinkedIn tips, because that's what I'm giving. So whatever you're writing your content about, you should use 3 hashtags that correlate to that. Like, Travis Bradbury, he always uses EQ, which stands for emotional intelligence. He'll use hashtag emotional intelligence. So the 3 hashtags that you choose to use, if you choose to use them, should be related to your content. Constance says, how do you use the open to button proactively? I don't. The open to frame in someone's profile,
Open to work and stuff.
yeah, that's people typically that are like looking for a job or are looking to be hired. If you're not looking for a job and if you're not looking to hire people, then you just use your regular profile picture without the frame. Helene says 3 hashtags to be used. Is this the max and why? We'll be using more, get us blocked. No, you won't get blocked, but there have been studies done that 3 is kind of like the appropriate amount of hashtags because people follow hashtags on LinkedIn. So if you want to appear in the feeds of the right people that are following those hashtags, it's appropriate to use up to 3. Over 3, it starts to dilute your content and you're not going to get quite as much visibility as if you were to just to use the 3. Karen says, please review what to say in a message to brand new connections on LinkedIn. And then at what point do you ask for a Zoom or a phone call? So I did drop those templates in the Facebook group, so you can review them there. But basically, it's just stating the person's name, your reason for reaching out, and then a call to action, if they would like to talk. When they respond back, yes, would like to talk, that's when you would ask for, okay, what day, time, and email is best to send an invitation to. They respond back, and then you send them a calendar invite with a Zoom, or if you're connecting by phone, you would just grab their phone number. Cynthia says, how do I promote several different types of businesses that are all rooted in sustainability on LinkedIn? That really depends. Again, if you own different businesses, and they're all related.
I can tag me in, coach. Yeah, I was going to say, this is kind of relevant for all social media across the board. One big thing would be, right, making sure those companies, if it's separate companies, are listed out in your profile. But also in your headline and in your about section, right? You want to make sure that obviously sustainability, any of those tag, keywords, right, that people might be searching are in there. And in the about section, it really all comes together in the vision. Okay. I always call that the vision umbrella, right? Everything else is under that. We have many different businesses, even Scott and myself, but we do have a big vision, right? We want to help people in a certain way. And if you have multiple businesses around sustainability, it tells me you want to, obviously help people in that way. So I would just really fine tune your messaging around your vision. And that really helps to kind of bring things together.
Yep. Stu asked, what specific qualities of a business would take advantage of the paid version of LinkedIn? Yeah, I mean, what I have seen, because I've never used the paid version of LinkedIn, but I've coached people that are using Navigator and Recruiter. The best people that are best for premium are those like insurance brokers, professional services such as financial services, where you need to do more targeted searches. Again, that's why I always kind of lean on the free version, because you still have a lot of great search filters through the free version of LinkedIn. But a lot of people in that realm will use the paid version because they can use Sales Navigator and Recruiter in that sense. So those are, in what I've seen, those are typically the types of professions that typically use them.
Yeah, and I just want to tag off, you don't get additional, connections,
Yeah,
right?
you get unlimited searches.
Yeah, you get unlimited searches, but you don't get additional connections. So you still have that connection limit. So I just want to throw that out there with the paid version.
Yep.
All right.
Shanta says, is it good to connect with people looking for jobs with a green banner? I mean, probably not. In the sense when someone is looking for a job, that probably means they don't have additional income to invest in something. So,
Depends.
I mean, it really depends. But I mean, if if the company that you own, you're looking to hire people like full-time employees or general contractors, then yeah. But if it's not a business that you own and you're not looking for employees or general contractors, then I would basically not look for people like that.
Yeah.
Mary, how long should a video be? That really depends on the person. At a bare minimum, I would say 60 to 90 seconds to really get your point across. Nancy and I recommend 2 to 4 minutes if it's pre-recorded. If you're going to do LinkedIn Lives, how Nancy and I do, you want to make sure the live video is about 15 to 20 minutes. So I would say bare minimum 60 to 90 seconds. Ideally, that 2 to 4 minute range pre-recorded is ideal. And then anything over that, because you can go up to 10 minutes pre-recorded on LinkedIn. Anything over that should be a live. Terry says, what are some of the differences between a personal account on LinkedIn and a business account? The big differences is the personal account is you, the business account is the company page or the business. The business and company pages are more specifically directed at running LinkedIn ads. You probably have seen sponsored posts and ads on LinkedIn that are typically done from company pages. A lot of people also use the company pages the way that we do is to build our personal brand. So when someone goes to our personal profile and they click on our expert authority company page or our my Scott Aaron coaching page, it takes them to the actual coaching company page of that business so they can learn more about it. That's what we leverage it for. A lot of people that do have the company pages, it is for that visibility effect. Other people use it so they can run LinkedIn ads, which we really never suggest just because those are they're more directed towards, corporate companies that are looking for larger corporate accounts.
Yeah, and you can add an admin onto a company page. That's a difference. But again, like Scott said, to use it in the right way, you want to be making those connections yourself.
And just really quickly, someone said that you can see the name of the people if you pay for LinkedIn. I find it, again, if people are just looking at my profile and not taking any action, I kind of find that just kind of like creepy in my sense. Because if they're just going to look at my profile, they're not going to connect with me, follow me, or message me, and they're just looking, I don't really care to connect with them anyway. So just remember, LinkedIn is a for-profit business. So they're always looking for ways to kind of get you to invest in the paid version, whether that be unlimited searches or see who checked out your profile.
That creeping.
Yeah, I don't like, it's almost like a dating app. Like, if you do like the paid version of the dating app, you could see all the people that are checking out your profile. Don't care about that. Only the people that do obviously take notice to it. Trisha says, how can I more quickly find new people to connect with on my Tuesday and Thursday searches? Most people that are in my network section are from my old career world. Yeah, I answered that before. The more of the new people that accept your connections, the more that my network section is going to change. Will says, why do you recommend that we ignore the follow people? Is that just able to go faster or some reason? Yeah. So the follow people are the ones that have creator mode on that want to have a more protected network. You can still connect with people that have the follow button. You just have to click on their profile. You click on the more button, and then you'll see a connect button there where you can connect that way. That's really the only difference. I'm about speed and productivity. If you kind of like stop that process and start clicking on everyone's profile and do it that way, number one, LinkedIn can restrict you for clicking on too many profiles of people that you're not connected with. So I'm about speed and consistency. So I'm just going to click on the people that have connect. Vonda says, I have a blog. When I post articles, should I copy my blog post or create an abbreviated version. You could do one of two things. I actually do both. So my blogs become my LinkedIn newsletter editions. Some people will actually take a snippet of their blog and then write it as a newsletter edition and say, if you want to read the entire thing, click here to read the entire version. So it's personal choice.
Yeah, but also keep in mind though, every time you write a long form post, like a blog or, long video or something, always have a call to action, because if we do get people back to our website and let's say it's, hey, read the blog or the full blog here, you can do things on your website to optimize, right? Collecting emails and things like that, like a pop-up, whenever they approach your website, or obviously they're on your website now and they can learn more.
Yep. And everything that you should be doing on LinkedIn should be done from your personal page, from your videos to your newsletter to your polls. That should all be from there. Georgia says, if I sent out 14 connection requests and got 7 responses, do we message to only 5 of them? Yeah. So again, you want to have an overabundance of connections accepted. So you don't want to kind of blow through all of them in one day. That's why I always say 5 a day, which is 25 per week. So you just keep let them build. You don't have to message people the same exact day. I like things marinating actually for a little bit. So if a couple days goes by and you haven't messaged them, it's not a big deal. You can check people's profiles out after they accept your connection, but also be mindful that if you check out too many people's profile, that actually mimics some of the scraping software that people are using. So they may think you're using software. So don't check out too many people's profiles. The ones that you should are the ones that actually agree to book a call with you. Then just kind of do some research on them so you're prepared for the call. Satina says, what are your thoughts on having a company page on LinkedIn? In the experience section, looks like I would need to create a company page. Otherwise, create a new experience for my personal business. It shows 2 gray circles. Yeah. So one of the other more attractive things to do is to create a company page that's linked to your personal profile, because if you just create an experience on LinkedIn, it just kind of has that very basic gray box because there's no company page attached to it. If you attach something to it, and you have a logo for your company page, for example, that logo will appear instead of the gray box. Dana says, I want to do a newsletter as you recommend. You mentioned there are a few things you need to do to optimize it and make it successful. Can you share 2 or 3 factors that make it successful as possible? In all honesty, I think number 1 is making sure it's something that people actually want to care to read about. If it's something that your network really doesn't want to know about, they're not going to read it anyway.
Gear it towards your people.
Yep. And number 2 is having the right people in your network. So people won't subscribe to a newsletter that doesn't really resonate with a need or desire that they have to learn about it. So that's why mine is called LinkedIn Tips and Updates. So there's
simple.
I keep it so they know what they're going to get. They want to learn LinkedIn tips and updates. They're going to subscribe to it. Cindy says, how do you remove notification requests that have been sitting there? I'm not really sure what that means.
Is it the removing connection requests?
It says, I mean, notifications just go away by clicking on them. So if you have a notification red dot in the notification section of LinkedIn, if you just click on that section of LinkedIn, that shows that you checked out that section and it will get rid of them. I think that's the best answer there. Marcos, how do you put an external link in a post without being penalized?
Good question.
You're not penalized. LinkedIn doesn't negate that. So some people will put an external link in a post. Some people will drop it in the comments. Again, it's really up to the person. I've done both. Both work fine. It's just a matter of what you want to do.
Well, you can also put things in the featured section or that clickable link that we went over earlier in the week. So you can direct people to go there without having to drop the link in there.
Yep. Cass, how long should you leave it before following up if they have not read or responded to your messages? Yeah. So the only time you ever go back and follow up with someone is, like I stated earlier, I think I answered this question. You're going to use those push notification messages to nurture that person, send a gratitude message, a happy birthday, and that re-engages the conversation. Do you have a list of other business ideas? I'm not sure what that means.
Probably. I mean, I'm going to assume maybe you mean this, Jeffrey, if you're here and you want to drop in the chat additional. So I know in our program, for example, we have a lot of different people who come in with established businesses, who kind of flip it on its head and change things. It happens all the time. In fact, we had a really great conversation with one of our members who's an occupational therapist the other day. And she had so many people asking her for help in a certain area of her expertise that she's like, I've got to create something around this.
Mm.
And so we had a really awesome strategy call on how she could actually create this. I really think every single person like on here, we all have certain special skills and abilities, right? We've all walked a path, we've all gotten to where we are, and there are so many opportunities. Even Gary in our program, right?
Mhm.
He's an attorney. He actually started out with a network marketing business and ended up totally shifting a little bit and realizing he really loves to help attorneys. He's been in family law for over 30 years, and now he actually helps other family law attorneys start their own business practices.
So just out of curiosity, guys, type in the chat, what's the biggest problem you have in your businesses right now? Like what's the biggest Achilles heel that you're looking to solve for? Engagement, myself, clients, leads, lead gen, awareness. Yep. Clients, responses, leads. Okay. Yeah. So again, what we want to kind of just let you know, if the big thing that you're looking to achieve, you're looking for more leads, you're looking for more sales, you're looking for more engagement. I mean, we have the process for you. I mean, plain and simple. Every single one of you have the potential to grow and scale your business this coming year. It's honest to God truth. This is not hot air, but you have to think about almost, this is what Nancy and I always think about. We always think about the consequences of not doing something. So what would be the consequence of not fixing the problem? So you have a leaky faucet, right? You're not generating consistent leads and sales. You're not getting engagement. You're not getting people on the phone, right? You're not growing your business. What are the consequences of not changing something? So if you continue to let that faucet leak, you're going to have a leaky business. And the fact is that you could partner with people like us to help you with your sales process, with your lead gen process, with your engagement process, with your response to, everything that you're doing process. Anything that you need,
Yeah.
we have a system for.
Well, just to like rewind the tape, right? Because obviously we shared with you guys, we've obviously done different things in our business and we've learned from a lot of different people. But I remember the day, right? Like I see it in my head. The day that I was on my knees and I seriously was like, we need to do something different in our business. Scott was coaching left and right. He was working one-on-one. Like we said before, he was working on the weekends, he was working in the evenings. It was anywhere he could squeeze in. It was like personal training all over again. Trading time for dollars. I was working with clients, helping with back, behind the scenes, connecting all the tech and all that stuff. And it was exhausting. And we were just like, enough is enough. And so we made a huge investment at that time. I mean, it was the biggest investment that we made, which isn't even a fraction of what we're charging for our program. But we made a huge investment just to learn how the heck we could earn some reoccurring income with the consulting and the coaching that we did. And we learned it. And again, obviously we help others do that, but we wouldn't be able to teach you guys if we hadn't gone through this ourselves. But we know, and I know, I hit that break. I mean, I was just like, enough is enough. Like, I don't even care how much it costs at this point, because I know that if we put the right things in place and with what we know, and again, every single one of you on here has skills, has abilities, right? Has things that you guys really can help others with. Like the possibilities are endless. I mean, within 3 months, you could be seriously making more money than, I mean, you've seen it happen.
The cool thing, and so to Nancy's point, that there was a $35,000 investment that we made that year, which was a big investment for us, but we turned that $35,000 into $250,000 because we learned what we needed to do, and now we teach others how to do the same thing.
And then it's literally grown and quadrupled and
every year
from there.
And that's the thing, when you I like always quantifying things to, like 401ks and IRAs, like things with compounded interest. If $0 is invested, you can't create any sort of revenue from that. So when you invest $0, there's no interest that can be built. But when you guys invest in something, you're going to be able to see a return on that. So you can't allow a blockage of money, because basically you're stopping your opportunity to actually create more revenue in your business. And again, people could continue to patchwork quilt it and spend the next 3, 4, 5 years in the same exact place and getting no more traction. Or you can shorten that learning curve. You can shorten the whole process and start achieving that rate now. So we just want to make sure on that. And Fauzia said, does your program concentrate on scaling a business? I'm a coach and in the same place where Nancy just mentioned about Scott. Yeah, that's exactly what we teach people to do. We concentrate on the steps needed to take to scale a business. So again, if you're looking to grow and scale, you want multiple revenue sources, then that's what we do. She already booked a call.
Okay.
And again, anyone else that wants to book a call, do it. Again, it doesn't matter where you are in your business. If you're making $1,000 a month and you want to get to 10,000 a month, we can show you a path of how to do that. You're making 5,000 a month, and just like what Teresa said, and you want to start making 25 to 30,000 a month, we can show you how to do that too. We have a simple formula, and if you want it, we got it. So Kathy says, how do hashtags work on LinkedIn? I answered that already. It's related to the content that you create.
This is Joseph.
Could you show how to update the summary again? So that I think we did in day number 1.
I would check that out.
Yeah, I would go back to the replay on day number 1.
Okay, Ron?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yep. Ron wants to know about the mastermind. We're talking to him later.
Right, Fauzia?
Why can't I message someone who is following me and I am following him? So a follower is different than a connection. So if you want to message someone that is following you, there's still a second connection. Then you can basically go to their profile. You can hit the connect button, then you can add a note saying, hey, thanks for following me. I followed you back. Would love to connect if you're open to it. Something like that.
Okay. Joe?
How often should you message those who do not respond? Again, I think I said that before. The only time you message someone that hasn't responded is with those nurturing messages that LinkedIn gives you. That's basically why they gave you the push notification messages, because they want you to nurture those people. So use those. And again, that's a way to follow up with those people.
Okay.
So Mia, why don't you read that?
Yeah. Although I have been in business since 1988, my LinkedIn profile seems to indicate that I'm looking for work. I'm constantly receiving notices from recruiters about position openings that have no connection whatever to my work. I am not looking for work and am not looking to increase my visibility to recruiters. Am I right in thinking that this disconnect might be affecting the algorithm and reflect on who sees my posts and who it suggests I connect with? If so, what do you suggest I do?
I mean, don't forget that, there's a lot of recruiters on LinkedIn because that's what people use it for. So I get those things too. It's just how LinkedIn is. LinkedIn is a place where people network, connect, to look for jobs, to get recruited for jobs. That's just like the normal aspect of LinkedIn. It's got nothing to do with the algorithm. Typically, those are like sponsored messages that come into you, or even sponsored connection request. If your general network, your first connections are ideal people, then you're completely fine. But that is a normal process of LinkedIn. Wendy said, LinkedIn messaging, what is a good turnaround time to message someone who accepts your invite to connect if you can't do it the next day? Yeah, I mean, some people actually, for me, sometimes I wait 2 or 3 days. Like I said, I like to have things marinate a little bit. So if you can't message them the next day, it's not a big deal. Actually, the longer that you wait, sometimes the better it is, because it doesn't mimic some of the automated processes that people should not be using on LinkedIn. Sometimes, waiting a couple days is fine. Kim says, what's a good turnaround time? Okay, that's the same thing. Oh, you copied the same message.
Oh, okay.
Janine, my network has only a couple of potential clients because I'm a beginner. So I did what you said, and now I have more connections, but they are not my ideal client or even power partners. They're people from my school or similar experiences. I'm so new to this industry. Help. That's why I asked question number 1. So again, as you start to do the specific searches on Mondays and Fridays, that will start to change. So if you're new to LinkedIn and you're really starting from scratch, it will take some time if it's a brand new profile, but it's just about staying consistent with the routine that we went over this week. And Fauzia, we can go over that on the call that you scheduled. So we have a lot of recommendations for that. So yeah, we help people with like website recommendations, how to optimize, and we have a whole wireframe that people can use to optimize it. So it's SEO. That's something we teach in our mastermind as well. Mark, could someone join the mastermind workshop later in the year? My business is not running yet. We're not really sure when we're going to be opening up again. As I mentioned before, it's on demand. So this is the best time that people want to join just because they want to hit the ground running. So we're not really sure when we're opening up again. So if now's not the right time, obviously we can always stay in touch with people that, want to be notified at a later time. I sell artwork and art merchandise in an online store. Artwork does not have a big pain point or struggle. What kind of content would you suggest besides the pictures of the work and possibly the stores behind them? So in that realm, I mean, this is just my initial thought. LinkedIn may not be the best platform in that sense. So if this is more of like kind of like a visual attraction thing, sometimes something like Instagram or Facebook may be better for that, even Facebook groups. LinkedIn is more for professional networking, business collaboration. It's okay to showcase some of the stuff that you do on
Not so
there.
much products.
Yeah, but it's not very product heavy focused.
Yeah, but I would say, just from an artist standpoint, you might be able to connect with power partners like Gallery Open, gallery, my gosh, I can't even think of the word, gallery owners, different people like that. So, putting content, maybe like, inspirational stories, stuff that obviously ties back to why you do what you do. There's actually someone that I follow that posts really nice quotes or inspirational, impactful quotes. There are different things that you can do, but you're not like selling your products right on LinkedIn. Here's another one.
Is there a way to track in LinkedIn who we actually had a call from like a CTA message? If not, what do you do tracking an appropriate follow-up?
Good
So
question.
I use a project management tool called Trello, and that's how I basically I have a couple different columns set up where I have the connection, the person I connected with. Then I have a separate column for the message that I sent them, the response, and then basically follow up that way. So a project management tool is great for something like that because you can keep track of everything. And I love Trello for that.
And Trello's free.
Trello's free.
They do offer paid versions. I always tell people you don't need to. I've been using Trello for years. It's actually one of the best, simple, easy to use, low learning curve project management tools.
Kathy, FYI, doing the checklist not as easy as it seemed, takes more thought, at least for me, and I do value checklists.
I don't know if that's a question.
That was not a question.
All right, this is from Constance.
Recruiting for financial services. What is the best strategy to use on LinkedIn? Again, that is something that we actually specialize in. We work with a lot of service professionals such as insurance and financial services. So there's a little bit more of a deeper tact to that just because we have to learn about the services that someone provides, compliance-wise, what you can and cannot have on your profile, because within certain industries, you can't have certain things. So again, the strategy for that is always education and information, but also power partners. We clients of ours that are in a similar profession, they actually had one of their biggest years last year. They did as much business in the first 6 months of 2023 than they did in all of 2022, based on the power partner strategy that we taught them within our program using LinkedIn. Cynthia says, is it important to show your
personal? Oh no, you can finish reading it, but I was going to say I could do it. Yeah, I was going to say, so Cynthia asked, is it important to show your personal brand on LinkedIn? Absolutely. And whenever we say personal brand, I know we throw that term around a lot. And it's kind of, one of those, I don't know, like you're hearing it a lot lately. Personal brand is your reputation. It's who you are, right? And every single personal branding expert, obviously that's what I wrote my book on. Every single personal brand expert says one social media platform every single business owner, whether you're the CEO, whether you are a sales rep, whether you do anything at all, right? You should have a presence on LinkedIn. In the about section, you get to tell people who you are, what you're all about, your vision, right? You get to share you. So absolutely, and hands down, LinkedIn is the best place to showcase who you are.
It is the #1 personal branding platform out there. So if
Yep.
you're not building your personal brand on LinkedIn, you're not going to be able to build your business.
Well, and people follow people they resonate with. I follow people that, I love, the content and the videos that they put out there. So again, be you. Don't feel like you have to be stuffy and overly professional. If in your job, let's say you're a financial advisor and you wear like a suit all the time, sure, you can do your videos in a suit or whatever. But if it's you, working remotely or whatever, show up, have fun, be yourself.
Yeah, Shanta said, is it okay to connect with people from the same industry I was in travel? Absolutely. Those are power partners. So we always recommend people to connect with, living in a world of connection
Connection points.
and collaboration and creation instead of competition and comparison. Mary says, not a paid version in analytics. How do I find keywords for being searched? You can find that in the free version if you go to your profile and you click on the profile views or the search appearances of your profile. So it's in your insights dashboard. It actually shows you the keywords that were used in order to find your profile. So again, this is also something that we do in our mastermind is, again, I help people optimize their LinkedIn profiles from an SEO standpoint. And again, using Gary as one of the examples, because your profile becomes more visible on Google, on Yahoo, all the search engines, and he's generated clients and obviously sales from appearing in the giant search engines based on the SEO that we put on his profile. Terry says, is one account more advantageous than the other? And I'm not sure what that means.
I would have one. Again, you don't want to stretch yourself too thin.
Oh, like
and
multiple LinkedIn accounts?
Yeah. I kind of said about the vision, right? Just make sure you're communicating. Again, if you do multiple things in that about section, that's the overarching umbrella. And again, make sure in your headline or your subline that you do have obviously the keywords that people would be searching for what you do.
Can you provide more tips on keyword searches? There's really no specific tips for keyword searches. The best thing to do, and this is what I always recommend, is always look at the keyword searchability through the eyes of the person that you're looking to connect with. So think about professional titles and industries that, if searched for, would link you directly to those individuals and vice versa. Think about what those people would be searching for to find you and include those keywords in your profile. Will says, when you're getting only 1 to 4 votes on a poll, it seems like that could be hurting your attempt to position yourself as an expert. Not at all. There are some polls that I put out there that get very little engagement, and there's some that get a lot of engagement. So this is part of vetting out the topics of the questions that you have that people want to hear compared to the ones that they don't want to hear. So it's not a bad thing. You just have to continue to put out your polls and see which ones get votes. And again, as long as one person is voting, it's resonating. Like that's all the data that you need, because that's one person stepping up and saying, hey, yes, I'm having a problem with that, which tells you there's definitely more people out there that have that problem, so you can create content around that.
You can also gear other content to promote your poll too. Like, hey guys, I just posted this poll. So curious to hear your thoughts, and direct more attention as well.
Vonda said, are there analytics that are non-vanity metrics I should be viewing weekly? Analytics really comes down to the impressions of your LinkedIn post, which means how many times it's being shown, but also the types of organic engagement that you're getting. And, it's so funny. We end up working with a lot of nurse professionals right now. Like Teresa, she's a nursing educator. She's created her own CE credits for the industry. Nina, who's also in the nursing field, she's the one that we told you about that closed a $12,000 contract and wrote up a proposal for a $50,000 contract. So again, so many different industries can have so much success following our strategy. It's really just eye-opening what is possible.
Yeah, and remember not to get deterred, guys. If you're not getting so many likes or loves, we talked about it earlier this week. The majority of people on LinkedIn are silent engagers. Okay. And again, we're not going to go too in depth, but I would watch the replay around that.
At what number does LinkedIn penalize you for having too many unaccepted requests? That is not a known thing. I mean, I got penalized because I had about 3,000 unaccepted connection requests. So just that's why I always recommend at the end of every single month going in and removing anything that is 3 weeks and older. My day job in government is so radically different from my direction I'm trying to move forward, functional nutrition practice. Would you still recommend that I identify the many positions I've held in government experience? Yes, absolutely. Those are all connection points. Do not negate anything that you have or have not done. Dana said, how do you plan out your content creation for LinkedIn? Do you do it 1 month in advance or a week in advance? Yeah, I mean, I like to use Trello for a lot of my planning. I usually plan about a week ahead of time, so I usually theme out my content each week. And then the things that I want to pre-schedule, I do pre-schedule. And the things that, obviously don't need to be pre-scheduled, I don't.
This is Marcos.
I have a personal account and a company account. Where is better to post? Personal account. And then obviously, then you can share it to your personal page or your professional page from there.
Also, we did have someone ask about the pricing and then also additional information on our program. I did drop the link that is directly to the sales page. And then also keep in mind, you can book a call from that page as well. So that I think that actually answers a couple questions that people have.
Awesome.
Right, Cass, there you go.
My business comes after my day job due to dates. Can you leave dates of experience out as well? Yeah, I would not leave dates out of experience, just because people need to see kind of like the progression of what you've done experience-wise. Do you have a video, just LinkedIn searches, and do you have a video of just LinkedIn searches and 20-minute routine? Do you understand that question?
Yeah. I think, I mean, you can go back to day 5, is going to go through, kind of the basics and the overall what you need to do.
Strategy to select which hashtags to use for checklists and quizzes. Again, that's directed towards your ideal target market. Again, whatever industry or profession that you're in, obviously that's what you want to use.
Okay. We got Regina.
How often do you send out a newsletter? I always recommend either weekly or bi-weekly. So it gives you 4 options: daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Weekly or bi-weekly is suggested just because that really creates a lot of traction because it's more consistent. Monthly is not enough. There'll be other people that have newsletters that are more often, so they'll get the visibility. And daily is too much of a commitment.
And Deborah, it's at the bottom in the FAQ section.
How does one get information on who is looking at my content and the keyword was used to find me? So again, that is also involved in the analytics section of your LinkedIn profile. If you go to the analytics, it actually will show you how many search appearances that you've had. And if you click on that, it'll show you all the data, the industries, the professional titles, and the keywords that were used in order to find you.
Let's see. Oh, sorry. This one's from Joe.
How often do you review and clear out your connections? We went over that obviously at the end of every month, anything that is 3 weeks and older.
Okay. And this one's from Wendy.
I
work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday for large telehealth. Are there other options to work with you?
Yeah.
So we have actually different call times for the program itself. But also, you can reach out to us. Again, the link is in the sales page. We did drop it earlier. We'll drop it at the end here, and you can chat with us.
Yeah, and Wendy, I would definitely schedule a call so we can talk through that because we have a lot of our stuff also is live and recorded in the mastermind. So we do have a lot of people that work. And then they actually watch the recording after, but the quarterly strategy session,
you can schedule anytime.
Yeah, the one-on-one time with us is actually on the time that works for you. So I would definitely schedule a call. When do you recommend using a business LinkedIn profile versus a personal profile? Always use your well, I answered that 3 times already. Yeah.
All right.
Is it bad to have friends and family like my post so it doesn't sit in the ignored? No. I mean, you can have people that are, knowing you, liking you, and trusting
But
you
you don't
to
want to do
engage.
engagement pods.
Yeah, no engagement pods. No engagement
Yeah,
pods.
actually, that hurts your algorithm when you get a lot of people.
All right, this is the final question because we actually have some calls right now. We're at the top of the hour. I have 2 social media book clubs that I've started. I love them because I love reading and hearing because other people. Is there anything more I should be doing with this, or just leave it as organic as it is? I mean, we have a book club within our mastermind, so we definitely have a lot of strategies around what people have in place. It's kind of hard to just spitball that right now because part of what we do in Expert Authority is really game planning and going over everything with you. So again, you can use one of those 2 links to schedule a call with us. We do have a couple of spots left and would love to see you in there. Again, just remember, if you really want something to change this year, we're here for you. The scariest place and the place that we all don't want to be is where we are right now a year from now. It's the truth. And if you're someone that wants to go from 1,000 a month to 10,000 a month, from 5,000 a month to 25,000 a month, that's what we help people do. I mean, we just plug you into everything that we're doing. But one other recommendation, as Nancy said, turn off the faucet. Too many people are just jumping from one training to another training to another training to another training. Focus on one thing. You can't, if you're diverting your energy and attention to 3 different things at once, guess what? You're going to get 33% the result because you're giving 33% to one and another and another. You need to have 100% focus. And the fact of the matter is, the people that are serious and ready and willing to do the work, you're coachable, you're open, you are tired, sick and tired of being in the position that you're in, whether you're in the beginning stages, the growth stages, or the scaling phases. We have the strategies, the techniques, the tools, the systems in place to help you get to wherever you want to be. So again, grab a time on our calendars, talk to us. It can never hurt. And again, we just want to say thank you so much, everyone, for spending these 6 days with us. We hope you took so much value from this. Again, everything can happen for you if you're willing to invest, put the time and put the energy into it. And nothing changes if you don't change anything. When you change something, something will change. The final 2 winners, Mark Kaplan and Jen Forte, congratulations. Once everything closes out, we'll be sending everyone their prizes. So we appreciate you guys submitting your questions, being here with us today.